people of the internet, welcome back to this YouTube channel where we do tutorials and stuff like that. So today we're going to be doing another Minecraft thumbnail tutorial because you guys have been begging me to do tutorials for a certain YouTuber, which I totally agree with. That YouTuber is HUAHWI, the one and only. He's a PvP Minecrafter, and you're gonna see some examples of his thumbnails right now if you haven't already. Lots of you guys have been asking for HUAHWI thumbnail tutorials, so I'm gonna do it right now. If you guys want to see more of these tutorials, make sure you slap that like button and comment down any more suggestions below. And most of all, don't forget to subscribe and share the video if this happens to be your first time on the channel. So what we're going to be needing today is the replay mod, of course, and Photoshop, and I'm pretty sure that's it. All the fonts and the texture packs that you're going to need will be in the description below. So now we're going to get right into the tutorial. Alright, so of course the first thing you want to do is get your screenshots that we need for the actual thumbnail. So I already got my Minecraft with the replay mod installed. Open up. Here is the replay viewer. If you guys have any trouble with the replay mod, just watch a tutorial on it. I'll probably leave one in the comment section below. So I've gone through, I went into a match with the replay mod recording in the background, and you don't have to win. So I have the recording here, and I paused it right here because I feel like this is a good place to take a screenshot. So once you get into the right position, you know, take your time, don't rush it. You gotta find the right spot. This looks pretty good. Once you do that, hit F1, and so that everything else on screen disappears, and just hit F2 to take your screenshot, just like that. And you'll note, because Minecraft is kind enough to have an indicator that says saved screenshot with the date and everything. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So we got our screenshot, but I also want to take one more screenshot of the map itself. So I'm gonna hit F1 again, and then this looks like a nice place with the tree and everything, and we're going to hit F2 once again. You can take it of anywhere you want, does not matter. Now that we got the two screenshots that we need, feel free to exit out of Minecraft or just minimize it just in case. Now we're going to be heading into Photoshop. You guys must know the drill by now. Just head to File, New, and just change the name. Change it to whatever you want. I'm gonna name it Tutorial 11 because this is the 11th tutorial, I believe. Now I have a preset for thumbnails, which is the dimensions that we're going to be using for the thumbnails: 1920 by 1080. Of course, you guys can use 1280 by 720 if the file size is too large. Once you're done with that, hit OK. And now we got a new everything and this transparent background that we can add everything we need to make this thumbnail. So now I'm going to pull up that screenshot, both of the screenshots that we just took right now from wherever you save your screenshots to. Alright, so I have the first screenshot right here, which is going to be the true background. So just drag it to one corner and then go to the opposite corner and drag it to the other side so that it fills up the whole screen. Once you're done, hit enter. Now get your second screenshot the same way. So go to place embedded and find your screenshot right here. Scroll all the way down to your most recent screenshot and just double click it. Boom, just like that. Got your screenshot nice and ready. You guys can make it full, fill up the whole thumbnail as well, but it won't matter because we will be changing the size of it. So like, it's either you do or you don't. It won't matter. Okay, so the next step is to cut out the actual players, so myself and my opponent right here. And of course, in order to do that, we're going to go to the third tool from the top, which is called the polygonal lasso tool, and the shortcut is L. So you can either hit L on your keyboard or just go right here. Now I'm gonna hold Alt and use the scroll wheel to zoom in, and you can zoom out by scrolling down. We're gonna zoom in so that we can get close, so that our cutting is precise. Always remember to take your time, start from anywhere you want, and then just continue to just click anywhere. If you make a mistake, Like if you go all the way up here but you didn't want to for obvious reasons, just hit the backspace button and it should undo it like that, which is pretty cool. So just keep doing this until you fully cut out the first player. And once you're done with that, we can move on to the second player. And finally, boom. Now we can zoom out if you want and hit Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Now we got this nice old cutout of the original image. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for this handsome guy right here. We are done with the second one, and the same thing again. Hover over it, hit Control C and Control V to paste it. Now we got our two nice cutouts, and after we got our cutouts, now we will not need this background which they came from anymore. So go over here to where the layers are and click this eyeball and it'll disappear, and that'll make the layer be, like, in theory, invisible. So we'll only have this and everything else. So what I'm going to do now is click one of them. They should be called layer 1 and layer 2. Hold shift and select the other one so that they're both selected. Hit Control T. And I'm just going to make them significantly bigger, actually. I'm going to make this guy big, and I'm going to make myself nearly the same size as him so that it takes up more surface area of the thumbnail. Alright, I think that's pretty good, and it's okay if it looks blurry like this. Do not worry indeed. So now we're going to be adding the effects. We'll make some adjustments, like move them over into the right place on the screen, but now let's focus on the effects for that HUAHWI uses. So I'm going to select one of them, just double click one of the cutouts, and first of all I'm going to add a stroke. It's going to be a white stroke, and just go to the stroke and copy everything you see down here. Next thing I'm going to do is add an inner glow, and I'm probably not going to do much, probably just increase the opacity because HUAHWI likes to make them, likes to raise the opacity so that they really look like they're glowing. The third thing we're going to do, and the final thing we're going to do, is add a drop shadow. Yes, the nice old drop shadow. Just going to move this over here. Just make some minor adjustments, guys. Minor adjustments. There we go. And just copy everything you see right here. After you do that, hit OK. Now to move all of these layers onto the other person is simple. Just right click the one that has all the effects. Click copy layer style. Right click the one where you want to put all these layers onto, and click paste layer style, and bada bing bada boom, just like that, he has somehow gotten the layers from this guy on the right, and the guy on the left has them now. It's very awesome and efficient. Alright, now we're gonna be getting into the fun stuff, guys. Are you ready? We're gonna be adding a gradient to the background. Now you guys are like, what are you talking about? Okay, so I'll just show you. But first of all, we need to create a new invisible layer. So go all the way up here to layer, go to new, click layer, and just hit OK. And make sure that it is above the background layer. Now after we do that, go all the way down here to the gradient tool. If it's selected as the paint bucket tool, automatically just click and hold and select the gradient tool, and you'll be fine. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. You're gonna go up here to the top of the screen in the top left where you're gonna see this gradient, and these are gonna be the colors, the two colors that are gonna be used for this gradient. Make sure you have the color and color that goes into the white and gray checkerboard, which means that it's going to be transparent. So it's going to be the color, it's going to fade in and blend in with the background. And this color is going to be a greenish color because that is the color that I saw Hawaii use. So go all the way over here, right here, and we're going to click this green square or whatever color the square is, and just copy down this color code right here. It's a nice bright green, pretty similar to the one that I saw on Hawaii's thumbnails on his channel. Hit OK once you're done with that. And now we're going to zoom out a little. We're going to go outside of the thumbnail itself. We're going to hold shift, click and hold down, and just drag it all the way somewhere over here. Seems good. Not too far though. And just release everything. And that looks amazing. I would have made it like go a little farther, but that is alright in my opinion. If it's a little too bright, you can always reduce the opacity, but I feel like it's just right the way it is. So I'm just gonna set the opacity to like somewhere between 80 and 90. 87% seems good, and that just looks amazing. Amazing. Come on, you guys have to admit, like, I should have thought of that a long time ago. Now we're going to be adding the actual text to our thumbnail. So of course go to the text tool, and this is the font that we'll be using, Minecraftia. Just click anywhere on your screen, and I'm just gonna type Pro versus New because, you know, I've run out of text ideas, and plus it's only a demonstration. Of course, whatever you guys are using this thumbnail for, you'll know what to put as the text. And I'm just gonna type stuff, hit the check mark. I'm gonna type everything separately. All the words are gonna be separate, and I'll show you guys why. Pro versus, click the check mark again, and finally noobs. And we'll move this over to the designated area, obviously, once you're done. So I'm gonna select all three of these words, hit Control T, and I'm gonna make them a little bit smaller and put them over the two cutouts that we have so that we can actually see them. So let me just do that right now. Just hold and drag them to the top. Okay, now this looks like a hot mess right here, so we're going to fix that. We're gonna pull verses down right here. I'm gonna pull noobs down here, and I'm gonna make them overlap each other slightly. Let me just center them first. Center Pro. And if we need to make adjustments, then we can always do that later. Alright, next, the effects, the wonderful effects. Now, start off with Pro. So double click Pro, and we're going to be adding a gradient. Nice gradient. And this is a custom gradient, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to color and just change the color to this. Go pause the video and copy this down. And this color, these are the two colors that make up the gradient. So pause the video and copy this color code as well. So done with that, hit OK. We're gonna give it an inner glow. We just adjust this 25 seems good. That's all you need to copy down. In the drop shadow, the wonderful old drop shadow, I'm just gonna make the distance, give it a lot of distance. This is where you play around with things the most, which is the nice thing about Photoshop and just making thumbnails in general. Looks a little too big, so I'm gonna reduce the size. All right, that looks good. I might adjust it later on, but we'll leave that for later. And hit OK. Now we're gonna paste the layer style to these two. So right click, copy layer style, shift and select these two, right click, and paste layer style. Boom, like that. Now we're gonna make these two different colors. Let's start off with noobs. So we're gonna double click noobs, the word noobs. I'm gonna go back to gradient. I'm gonna click the gradient, and we're going to set it to this black and white gradient. Hit OK. Reduce the opacity so that it looks like more of a grayish to white instead of just solid black. Once you're done with that, hit OK. And lastly, for the verses, double click that, go all the way to color overlay, deselect the gradient because we won't need it anymore, and deselect the inner glow. We're going to give it an inner shadow so that it looks like dark. It looks like has this illusion of being dark. So we're gonna click inner shadow, and we're going to increase the size and probably increase the opacity. Yes, just like that, and hit OK once you're done. We're almost done with the text now. There's a lot of effort going into the text, you might have noticed by now. So we're gonna select all three of the text. Now we're gonna go back to the text tool, and we're gonna go all the way up here, go to the right, and you're gonna see this T that is on top of a curved line, and it's gonna say create warped text. So we're gonna click that. All right, gonna go to style, gonna click it. It's gonna be a drop down menu. Gonna click arc. Now we're going to go to bend. That's all you need to worry about, and we're going to change this to 13 or 12. 13 or 12, doesn't really matter. Hit OK. Okay, and I forgot to select Pro. Whoopsie, so let me just do that right now. I'm gonna go back, arc, and select this to 12. And now all the text is nice and curved. Looks awesome in my opinion. I'm gonna select all of these, Control T, and I'm gonna make this a lot smaller actually. Really small so that it's decently sized. Maybe a little bigger. And yes, just like that. Amazing. And let me just move noobs a little lower and pro a little higher. Alright, it looks awesome in my opinion. Now we're going to add like a little rectangle here. And yes, it's not really a random rectangle because it actually looks good. And HUAHWI does that in his thumbnails, of course, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. So we're gonna hit the rectangular tool, the rectangle tool, and we're gonna go anywhere on our screen, and we're just going to drag it, make a nice rectangle. We're gonna go over here to the properties. I'm gonna click this square, this rectangle looking thing, and we're going to click this white box with a red slash over it. Then we're gonna go to the one on the left of it, and we're going to click this solid black rectangle. It says solid color, and now we're gonna choose the color black. And after you do that, you can hit enter so that it's like, yeah, like that, so it doesn't have the lines anymore. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is lower its opacity, and you guys are gonna see why. So set the opacity to something like 70, something in the high 70s, like that. And then we're going to move this down here. Almost done. We're gonna hit Control T, and now you might have noticed this thing that's next to this circle slash right here to the left, and it looks a little like that T with the curved line underneath it, but instead this is for images in general. So we're going to click that, and then this might have popped up right next to warp, just like how it did for the text, and we're gonna click it. We're gonna click arc again, and now we're going to lower the bend to 12 or whatever it was, just like how we did with the text. Once you're done with that, hit this check mark right there. Ha, I love Photoshop, man. Now we're gonna adjust the size so that it fits perfectly. We're gonna move this here. I can't tell you specifically where you should put it, because it's like one of those things where you just do as I do, not as I say, I guess. So we're gonna hit Control T, and we're gonna move this over to like right here. And yeah, I guess that's it for this weird black rectangle, but you know, it looks pretty good the way it is. Hold on, let me see. I'm actually going to do this. Oh yeah, that looks fantastic actually. Now HUAHWI didn't do it like this, but I felt like this would have been cool. cooler if it was like that. And now I'm gonna drag the rectangle down here behind the two cutouts, just like that. Oh, that looks amazing. All right, and one last thing we can do is add like something like an item related to PvP here, like among the text, which is something that HUAHWI does, and I noticed, and it's pretty cool in my opinion. So I'm going to get a potion of swiftness. I'm gonna place it down right there. All right, the potion of swiftness has been acquired. I'm gonna put it right here next to versus. Gonna hit Control T, and I'm just going to do it like this. Make it smaller. All right, awesome. Awesome, looking good. And it doesn't have to be a potion. It can be like a bow, a sword, a golden apple, you know, anything. And I'm just going to adjust this rectangle a little. Just drag it down a little. There we go. And the final step, guys. Are you ready for this step? The last step is to pat yourselves on the back because you have successfully completed an amazing HUAHWI thumbnail. Give it up for yourselves, guys. You guys did a good job. This thumbnail came out completely amazing. Like, I was blown away from my own creation. I love how HUAHWI makes his thumbnails, and I'm so glad I did a tutorial on him. I should have done it way sooner, guys. I'm sorry I took so long, but yes, this is how you make thumbnails like HUAHWI. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like down below. It only takes a second. And if this is your first time, if you have no idea who Zydash was before November 23rd, 2017, then I want you to subscribe right now and turn on post notifications so that you get updated on when I upload tutorials or other types of videos in the future. So yes, guys, and like I always say, you don't have to follow like 100% what I do or how the YouTuber makes their thumbnails. You can like add your own little twist to it or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be like a carbon copy of that said YouTuber's thumbnail. So always keep that in mind. Try to add your own little twists. And yes, thank you all so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in the comment section and in the very next tutorial video. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome Thanksgiving, guys. I hope you guys have a nice dinner. Spend time with your family. See you guys later.